Yeah. Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How are you all doing today? Welcome to the show. Yeah, it's right around 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, around 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I was just able to get out and about to take another walk, another walk with purpose. Episode number 640. Yeah, life is very precious. It's very interesting, very special. Everyone is unique. And you just got to grab life by the horns, right? You got to, continue dealing with the punches. Of course, we're talking figuratively here. I don't believe in violence or anything like that, and neither should you. You got to roll with the punches. You've got to weather the storm. And it's been raining. It's been raining pretty good here in the San Francisco Bay Area, and there's a break in the rain, which is why I'm out here right now. We got some good rain last night and throughout earlier this morning and early afternoon, and now there's a break in the rain. We had flood warnings throughout, actually since last night. Throughout this afternoon, we had flood warnings, but now those have been removed. The rain has stopped. We're supposed to get a little more rain this week. Then we're going to have a break for like 6 days, and then it'll come back. That's good. Those 6 days will be great. That way the water can, escape. And sometimes water will saturate. It'll saturate in the ground and then come up. You got to give time for the water to do what it has to do and get to where it needs to get to. Too much water at once or for continuous periods of time, you know what it does? It causes flooding. So anyway, I hope you're all having a great day. I wasn't able to do any content yesterday, and Don and I still haven't done a members only live stream in I think almost 2 weeks. I'm going to talk about that first here, so nobody worries. I'll just mention that Dawn says hello to everyone, but she has not been feeling too good lately. She's been a little under the weather, and she's been struggling with something I've struggled with all my life: constipation. Now, just because you don't have chronic constipation, or just because you usually don't get constipation, doesn't mean you're never going to get it. And at times, everyone's going to get constipated. It all depends on the foods you eat. It all depends on, do you drink enough water, or do you not? And is your body more dehydrated? Because the more dehydrated you are, the harder it is going to be for you to push your stool through. So, everybody's going to deal with constipation every now and then. And then every now and then, you get a real bad episode of constipation. So, I've been helping Dawn, because I have chronic constipation. Everyone knows that. I've gone public on that for years. I've been laughed at, and I don't give a shit. You can laugh at me all you want. See, I don't give a shit because, if I can find ways to get my shit out, before my stomach explodes, then it's all good, right? It's not a laughing matter, but, there are people out there that just will make fun of, anything anyone does, right? Immature, insecure people, right? We don't have to go down that path. Even though this is day 5, the final day of the drama Detox, I finally got to it. finally got to it. It's supposed to be over by last Friday, but things come up. Life happens. My woman hasn't been feeling too well. So, when that happens, you switch gears and you do whatever it takes to take care of her, right? So, just to let you folks know, as soon as Dawn feels better, I think by the end of today, she's using some of my regimens because I'm practically an expert on relieving constipation. I'm not a doctor, but, I've had to deal with it all my life. So, I know about laxative suppositories, Biscotol 10 milligram. I know about Fleet saline enemas. Those help. I know about taking fiber supplements, colon cleanses. There's a great super colon cleanse I take for a couple of weeks every 2 months. And then there's a regular colon cleanse that you take daily. And another unpaid endorsement, I believe the company's called Health Plus. They have colon cleanse, the regular colon cleanse, and then they have super colon cleanse. And they have two versions of it. They have the original formula and some newer formula that doesn't work as good as the original. So they brought the original back for those of us that loved it. I recommend the original formula, super colon cleanse by, I believe it's Health Plus. You can get it on Amazon, but if you go on their website, you get some better deals. You get discounts. You sign up for their mailing list. But yeah, like right now, it's been a few months since I did my super colon cleanse regimen. So, you take 4 caplets right before you eat breakfast and 4 right before you eat dinner. And what that does is it also has this thing called psyllium husk, which stimulates your bowel movements. And what super colon cleanse also does, it increases your fiber intake and actually brings in a lot more water into your intestines, which is what's necessary. You gotta keep the plumbing clean. Your intestines are like the plumbing of your body, right? If something even gets stuck along the way in your intestines, the rest is going to back up, right? It's like backing up, your plumbing at home through your sewer. What happens when the plumbing gets backed up? It comes right back out the toilet or through other pipes in your home. It makes a big mess and it stinks, right? So your body is just like that as well. So, with that being said, I'm hoping that by tomorrow or Wednesday, Dawn will be back to being 100%, and then we'll get a members-only live stream going. I do apologize to our members that have been waiting for the next show. And Dawn feels bad too, but, sometimes you got to just step away for a week or two and take care of yourself, recoup and recharge, and deal with any illness or anything that's affecting you from functioning 100%, and then come back strong. So that's what's been going on. So that's it's a major channel update. Another thing, and we can talk about anything throughout this show. I'm going to do at least 2 laps. If I can get in a third one, I'll do it. It's not supposed to rain. It's about 56 degrees, so it's not really even that cold. So don't have my gloves on. I feel good. But feel free to ask any questions. Now look. Here's the creek. The creek is moving because all the water, we got a lot of water. Look at that. A lot of water is still coming out of the ground. It has to go somewhere, right? This creek is an essential part to this area of Redwood City to prevent flooding. So by the speed of, this creek, you can see we got a lot of water. You can see how fast it's moving, right? That's an idea. Why is my camera not focusing properly? There we go. Yeah. It's beautiful to look at, though, huh? It's real beautiful to look at. Maybe I can get you a shot above the fence there so you can see it better. And interestingly enough, even one of the homes has a deck crossing the creek. That's pretty cool over there. You see that? 16 people here. Thank you so much for being here. By the way, before we continue, just to remind everyone that hasn't been around for a while, lately and for the foreseeable future, Don and I have decided to make most of our content members only or members only live chats. The streams I do by myself are going to be publicly viewable like this one. But if you want to chat, you will need at least a $2.99 channel membership. You'll need to purchase at least a $2.99 channel membership. Moderators are free for members only live chats where the streams are publicly viewable. But if you're going to become a channel member, you might as well join at the $4.99 level, which will also get you those live streams that I do members only with Don. So I just wanted to remind you folks, we've been doing this now, I think it's been a little over a month or so, and we're going to continue doing this for the foreseeable future. And now in the future, we may go back to a ratio of 50-50 premium content, and some of the content will be free because we want to draw more people in to join the already nice group of premium members. Because not only will that help Don and I out more, it will actually bring more value to the members that are already premium members. Because here's the thing. You're getting more of our attention, and you're getting virtually almost zero trolling, zero, distractions from what we're trying to accomplish here. And let me tell you, it's kind of like, hey, AZ Prod. It's really strange now. Your message says howdy, but it doesn't have a black background anymore. I can still see you in the YouTube app, but there's no more black background. Oh, maybe it's because it's at the bottom. How you doing, brother? Welcome to the show. Great to see you here. Audio good, right? Audio and video good. I'm coming through the bad reception area here, so hopefully it plays nicely with me. But yeah, it's kind of like on YouTube, you pay for YouTube Premium to have no ads, which is fantastic, and to also have background play. So you don't have to keep your app open if you want to put your phone in your pocket and listen to YouTube as a podcast. The value for me to pay for YouTube Premium for those two aspects alone is fantastic. And a lot of people are saying, oh, it's expensive. It's $11.99 per month. Or you can get a family plan for $22.99 per month, something like that. I think that's what I'm paying. I've got, Dawn and other people on my plan. You can have up to 5 people on your plan. Now, they have to be technically in your same household. The iPhone got an update today, and now it's weird. It's like now the chat is transparent. AZ Prod says absolutely. Well, I hope it doesn't squish on the screen. iOS 17.3 was released today, AZ Prod. If you haven't downloaded it yet, I always download mine right away. When you have the phone attached to the Wi-Fi fiber network, you download the update literally in like 3 seconds. And it seems to be rolling pretty smoothly. But yeah, I'll tell you, paying $4.99 per month for our content here, where you have my undivided attention and Don's and other good people that are not trolling, that'll bring you value, that's worth it. That's the value right there. It is so worth paying a little extra, right, to make your life a little bit easier, a little less stressful, right? Because let me tell you, when you're dealing with trolls and haters, they're such a major distraction. They literally suck the life out of all of us, and it drains us and it makes us more tired. It's worth paying $5 a month to get rid of all that. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, AZ Pro, but I'm sure you agree. Huh. I heard somebody going, woo! By the way, AZ Prod, did you catch that 49er game? Catch that 49er game the other night? I got to tell you, whew, wow. What a great game, man. The Niners played like crap. The Niners played their worst game all year in the divisional playoffs. Their defense was garbage. Their offense was so-so, but it was a little bit off. And somehow they found a way to come back and beat the Packers. Of course, it's so much better without the haters. And yes, I did see the game. That was, dude. I have a younger brother. He's 15 months younger than me, Chris. And there's this sports bar, couple cities north of Redwood City where we live. It's in Foster City. It's a city right next door to San Mateo, where YouTube was first started in like 2005 or 2004, before Google bought it. And I used to work for a Costco in Foster City. It was a Costco right by the bay, right by the San Mateo Bridge, and across the freeway, the Highway 92 freeway, is a Crown Plaza, where when I worked for Costco, we used to go there and watch games and hang out with the guys and just have a good time. And my brother's a big Niner fan also. My brother, he still does fantasy leagues and all that. I don't have time for fantasy leagues. It's just I got too much going on, with Dawn and the business and other things, right? And my brother has a lot going on too, but oh no, is this thing scrunching again? Don't tell me there are issues again with the scrunchiness coming back. Anyway. So, I messaged my brother after the game. I'm like, dude, this is one of the best Niner games I've ever seen in my entire life. And it wasn't because they played well. It was because the game was close. It had many lead changes. And, it was a nail biter. Kept you on your toes the whole time. That's a hell of a football game, And plus, at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, because, the Niners don't play in San Francisco anymore since Candlestick Park was demolished years ago and they left. That Levi Stadium, man, is like one of the best stadiums in football. That is fucking state of the art. Like, that is the cream of the crop, dude. I'm not trying to say we're all that, but God, Don and I last year, I've never been there. My brother's been there a few times with his girlfriend because, I don't know. I guess they both just have a lot of disposable income to pay for a ticket to that game. It's not cheap. But Don and I drove by Levi Stadium on the way back from being in the South Bay about a year ago. She had to use the bathroom. We got off the exit right by Levi Stadium, and you can see the stadium from the road. It's fucking beautiful, man. But it was raining, and it was slippery, and the Niners just aren't used to pay. I mean, we're in California. We're not used to playing in crappy conditions. Now, when we go on the road, yeah, we got to deal with it. And I was talking with Don. Well, Don's like, well, you go back east, you're playing in snow. But here's the thing, babe. Snow is powder. It takes longer to melt. And yes, you can still slip on snow, but snow takes longer to seep through the ground. When you've got rain, that water is going right into the ground. It's creating mud. It's very slippery. It's super slippery. It's like stepping on slush. When there's powder, you can still slip, but you have more traction. It's like frozen water. It hasn't liquefied to seep into the ground to make it super muddy. But regardless, it was a hell of a game. My brother got back to me. He's like, I'm at the Crown Plaza, man. This place was packed. Man. And he was just happy that they won, So, because Dawn has her broken ankle, she's still healing. She's doing a lot better. She's walking around, but, it takes time to fully heal, and you don't want to push it. We're not really doing those events. If Dawn was fully healed, we would have probably met my brother and his woman at the Crown Plaza. It's nice to get out every now and then. I'm not really into doing overly crazy things like I did in my younger days, and I don't feel the need to go to a sports bar to watch a game and to have some drinks and all that. But every now and then, it's okay. A change of pace, it's okay. And you can always go to these events, guys and gals, and not drink alcohol. You can eat the food at the bar. You can have virgin drinks. You can still go to these places and hang out with your friends and be responsible, right? If you're not going to be responsible, then hand your keys to a DD, a designated driver. But anyway, so that is that. As I turn around and I'm about to pass by one of the biggest 49er fans in Redwood City, the guy that owns the house out here that has all the fancy lights that he puts on his house in collaboration with the city of Redwood City every year for the holiday season. And then when the Niners are in the playoffs, like I've mentioned before on these shows, he turns it into a 49er spectacle. So I'm looking forward to see what this dude does next now that we're going to the championship game. It's so cool. The dude has a couple palm trees right in his front yard, man. That is like a cool little palace. A cool, probably 1.5 to $1.8 million palace right there. And that dude's been there for, God, at least 30, 35 years. So hell of an investment. And you've got your Harley over there. I believe it's a Harley and a Tesla. And let's not forget the 49er tarp, the Coleman 49er tarp. Right there. You can see it better now that it's not dark. I tried to show this the other night, but it was too dark. So, some other updates. It's been about 3.5 months since I put out a video on the main channel, Coach Eli, Elias, Melas. And I want to share some information. I already knew this, but I want to tell you, YouTube is enforcing their rules, even on monetized channels in good standing. So, give me a second. Somebody's coming. All right. So I saw this video. If you're a YouTuber, this is important to listen to, especially if you're monetized or you're going to get monetized. I saw this video where there was a lady that said she got demonetized. And as I heard the video and read the comments section, she mentioned that she had not posted a video or anything for 6 months. And then I knew exactly why she got demonetized. So, now, YouTube's talked about this, but there isn't a whole lot of information, but this is what I think they're doing, okay? You need to post at least one video, or I believe one posting. I would make it a video, because I mean, even if you make a posting, I believe it counts, and it resets the 6-month clock. You got to be active on the channel, but I would post at least one video every 6 months. If you have multiple monetized channels and you want to keep them monetized, you got to put out a video every 6 months, right? She did not post any videos for 6 months. And then she got a warning email from YouTube saying that you have not posted a video in a long time. We're giving you 30 days to post enough videos and to get the required watch time. Because what happens if you have a channel that hasn't posted in a while and your videos aren't constantly getting you views and watch time, and your watch time, and you get in that situation and your watch time is below 4,000 hours, you will be removed from the YouTube Partner Program. So the way to do it is you got to put at least one piece of content every 6 months. That keeps your channel active, and they don't give you that warning. Now, I haven't put out a piece of content on the main channel in 3.5 months. Don and I were putting some content out there every few weeks before that, and we're still okay. But the reason why I mentioned that is to make you folks aware, if you're monetized, or if you have multiple monetized channels like Don and I do here at Coach Eli 2 in the main channel, you can't just leave one for a long extended period of time and expect to still be monetized. You gotta post content on all of your monetized channels at least once every 6 months. If I was you, I would post at least once a month or twice a month on every channel, a couple videos, just to be on the safe side. Also, you wanna do whatever you can to put enough content on each of your monetized channels where you're always going to be above 4,000 hours in the previous 12 months of watch time. Even though that does not technically take effect unless you don't post anything for 6 months, and then they give you a 30-day warning. If they give you that 30-day warning because you haven't posted in 6 months, what they're saying is you now have 30 days to put enough videos and to get your watch hours in the previous 12 months back up to 4,000, or you're going to be removed from the YouTube Partner Program until you requalify, and then you have to go through the qualification process, right? And if you have any money in your account, you will lose all that money. They put it on hold, and once you get back in, if you ever do, then they'll give you that money back. So anyone that's been removed from the YouTube Partner Program, if you get back in, for whatever reason, if you can find a way to get back in, if you haven't violated the terms of service or anything like that, then you'll get your back pay, right? Why did I just come this way? I was going to go on lap 2. Let's go on lap 2. You can see I'm all over the place today because I've just had a lot of things going on. I've been taking care of Dawn, who's been under the weather, and she's had some chronic constipation. I'm the expert on chronic constipation, so I was helping her with my regimen to relieve the constipation, right? So yeah, I had not decided exactly what I'm going to do, but I'm going to start putting out some content over the next day or two regularly on Coach Eli 2. I don't know if I'm going to put out some pre-recorded content. That's what I'd like to do. Or I don't know if I'm going to even do some live streams for a while there as well. Now, don't get me wrong. I will still be doing the Walking with Purpose streams here on Coach Eli 2, but I might end up doing some live streams for a bit on the main channel that I would have normally done here on Coach Eli 2 because I want to keep that channel active. And that's what I'm telling you folks, right? Now, I didn't plan for this to go this way. That channel is completely supposed to be a pre-recorded video channel. But here's the thing, folks. Life happens, right? And, when things happen within your family or the people you love and you have to step away and take care of them, it takes time away from what you would have normally done. That doesn't mean there aren't things you can do that you normally wouldn't have done that would still work to keep those channels active, right? So right now, I'm in a position where I do want to keep posting on that channel, but I don't want to go much longer without posting because I'm at 3.5 months. If I go 2.5 more months without posting on that channel a video, I'll get that email, and if I don't have the watch hours on that channel, which I'm sure I probably do because I've got like well over 1,000 videos on there, and they're still getting views and all that. But if I don't have that watch time and I get in that 30-day thing, even if I post a bunch of videos all that month and I don't get to 4,000 watch hours, they'll still remove me. So sometimes you just got to do what you got to do based on your circumstances. So that's another channel update there. Let's see, what else? What else? I don't know. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good mood, despite the fact that I've got a lot on my plate lately. There's a lot of stuff that is going on personally, professionally, etc. There's a lot that I've been working on behind the scenes. Now check this out. Look at that. Water coming out of the ground and going down here. See, that's why this was built at an angle, right? You can see how much rain we got. Look at the gutters are full. Water's coming out of the ground because first the water goes into the ground, and when it gets saturated, what goes down must come up. It comes back up because there's nowhere else to go. Once the capacity is filled in the ground, it comes back up. And then it's got to drain somewhere else, right? So yeah, AZ Prod, we got a good amount of rain, man. Yeah, it's not as much as last year, dude, because last year was insane. But it's still we got a good amount of rain the last 2.5, almost 3 days. But despite everything going on, I was talking with Dawn earlier today, and I said, babe, it's like I just don't let anything bother me anymore. Do I have my moments? Do I get frustrated? Dawn and I even have our moments. Every couple has their moments. Doesn't mean we don't love each other. All right? But at the end of the day, at 50 years old, I've gotten to the point of where I just chalk it up to it is what it is, right? Sometimes there really is no explanation on why certain things are happening or, why people are doing certain things, right? You just got to chalk it up to, hey, it is what it is. And you have to live your life for yourself. That doesn't make you selfish. Every person out there has to live life for themselves because you need to be fulfilled within yourself before you can be happy being with somebody else. I mean, if you go into a relationship without being fulfilled deep within yourself, it's not going to work out, right? You got to have self-love, self-happiness, self-respect. And it's easier said than done. There's a lot of people coming at the park right now. It's easier said than done. But once you do get to that place and you truly understand that, trying to fight everything and everyone isn't worth it, and it isn't going to probably change the outcome. Whatever outcome is meant to be is just going to happen, right? Now, I'm not saying in certain situations, you don't have to take action. Where action is necessary, you take action. But in most cases, it's just people trying to rattle your feathers, right? It's people trying to rattle your feathers. And in those cases, a lot of people just exiting and entering the park right now. It makes it a little more difficult to navigate. All right. So like I was saying, you don't let people rattle your cage. You chalk it up to it is what it is, right? And, it's the same thing when it comes to friends, family, co-workers. It's the same thing. You got to just let things go. You don't always have to fight, anything and everything, right? Sometimes your best course of action to fight something is to not fight at all. Not fighting it at all, in many cases, will resolve the issue on its own, right? Now, other people that may try to get you to fight and get you and instigate you to react and stuff, are trying to get you to react because that way they can prevail in whatever they're trying to prevail at, right? But if you just keep your mouth shut and just ignore things and not focus on certain things, they will play themselves out. Things will just pan out the way they were supposed to pan out, right? Thank you so much to the 15 people that are here. We have 2 thumbs up. Please smash the thumbs up. Please share this out. I figured out a food that Dawn really likes. Dawn, because of the medication she's been on, she's had some blurred vision and she's also had decreased appetite. That happens when you're taking medication, all right? She's being referred to specialist doctors, and we're in progress of handling, her appetite, and some food doesn't just taste right to her that used to taste right. And she's being referred to a Stanford doctor to further check out her vision because she had it checked out again by her primary optician doctor. And her doctor, who's been doing it for many decades, found nothing wrong. But when, she was given the eye test, the exam, she could see that Dawn was struggling to read certain things. So that's another thing that's been affecting Dawn, just to let you folks know. So everything's good. She's fine. We're just figuring everything out. And I forgot what I was going to say. Just got a lot of people coming everywhere, so I'm letting people pass on by. AC Prod says, okay, I already got that. Okay. I got distracted. I lost my train of thought because there are a lot of people at the park tonight. I don't know if it's because the weather is good or there's just soccer practice or whatever, but there are a lot of people at the park tonight. This place is packed. It's all good. So more than likely, at some point later tonight, I'm going to start working on some content for the main channel. And, you know, there's a whole lot of stuff that I want to focus on. But again, you know, life happens and it's not easy. And, you know, here's the thing. You know, now having a live-in girlfriend and having a couple dogs, and now my family, you know, needs me for certain things at times, and you know, it makes it a little more challenging to produce the amount of content I used to. But I will find ways. And if you're in this situation, you got to talk with your significant other, and you got to just say, hey, look, you know, I love you, but if I'm going to focus a lot of time helping you in other ways, then we might have a few less date nights for the time being each week. Doesn't mean we're not going to have date nights. It means that, you know, we got to focus our energy where we need it. And, you know, you need to run the business to make money, right? To survive, right? This is the business of our future for Don and I. So, you know, it's like you got to talk with your partner, and you got to, you know, find ways to balance it out. And see, when women really love you, they want to spend every minute with you, like, you know. And again, I understand that. But you know, you gotta work. You gotta find time to work. And you know, even if you're a self-employed entrepreneur like myself, and you put away some resources like I have for a rainy day to pay your bills, those resources will run out. So you got to sit down and explain to your partner, you know, and find a happy balance that's going to work for the both of you. Whew. Another thing, AZ Prod, I don't know if you're still around or not. Maybe you are. I've seen Real Talk with Roy channel. Roy is still a moderator here. Still have respect for Roy. He's done a few streams. He did a stream yesterday, and Pedro DoorDash Santiago went on there. And you know, here's the interesting thing, right? The interesting thing is Pedro actually sounded pretty professional and mature and respectful on that panel. And so, you know, I was talking with Don about this, and I was like, okay, so when Pedro and some of these guys want to be professional, they'll be professional and be respectful and get down to business and talk about the real issues at hand, right? And that's what he was doing. But anytime I was trying to be professional with him at that level, and a few other people that he collaborates with, like Hannibal's Hungry, those guys never took me seriously. They never did. And it's not because I don't know what I'm talking about. It's because they were getting paid in some capacity to, use me as a lolcow. And see, that's the thing, Even if people, like Pedro, are capable of being professional, like he was on Real Talk with Roy's channel yesterday, you can't sit there and switch your game on a different channel because a group of trolls and haters of mine are paying you money and giving you lots of donations to trash talk me when really, it's irrelevant. And truthfully and honestly, I'm on the same page with Pedro on a lot of things he talks about. I agree with him, right? I agree with him. And I'll tell you, if you want to go and watch that Real Talk with Roy stream from last night where Pedro Dorda Santiago was on, now, I've heard about half of the time Pedro was on. I still need to listen to the rest of it. But the parts I heard, he was mature, respectful, and making a lot of sense, right? That's all I ever tried to do coming into that community, right? And then if you haven't seen my show about Vanessa Lau, where I also added some great dating stories, if you're not into the dating stories, that's on you. I think those are good too. And AC Prod, I know you love those dating stories. But the first hour and a half of a stream I did here on Coach Eli from the studio a few days ago was the truth about Vanessa Lau, who came onto the YouTube scene 3-4 years ago like a rocket. And at age 24 was calling herself the seven-figure millionaire or something like that. And I called these people out. I call these people out because they know that what they're doing isn't what they really believe in, and they know they're stretching and pushing boundaries and maybe even sometimes fabricating shit to get attention and to make money. But it's all short-lived every single time, right? It's all short-lived every single time. Here we go again with the issues where the YouTube app is screwing up the screen again. That was a great stream. You pointed out some very interesting things. I liked it. Well, everything was truthful. It was truthful, it was honest, and it makes a lot of sense. And none of these people want to be called out on that because that's how they're making their money. They're making their money doing underhanded things, right? And they're doing underhanded things that are not illegal, but are certainly pushing the lines of ethics. And they're certainly deceiving people, right? Now, YouTube has a policy out here against spam and deceptive practices, right? But see, they can't get people like Vanessa who sell a pipe dream, because what happens is, what Vanessa is doing is basically offering you coaching sessions, and there's nothing wrong with that. But throughout those coaching sessions, she's also making you aware of websites and masterminds and stuff like that that she's selling you, right? And see, a lot of these people are really good at bypassing spam filters. They base selling you their products on personally getting to know them, right? They try to make it, very personable, right? And once they make you feel like, you're close friends and stuff, then they sell you anything and everything under the sun, leading you to believe that if you just buy that package or talk with me privately once or twice a month for $1,000 a month, for $1,000 per month, you'll get to the level where I'm getting to, where I've gotten to. That's selling someone a pipe dream, right? Because again, like I mentioned on the show, you're not going to, what are you going to do? Tell somebody to come to your mastermind so you can teach them how to sell the same mastermind to their own people? So in essence, you're selling them a pipe dream on how to sell a pipe dream to other people, right? And that's the problem I have. And that's the problem that's really affected, legitimate people like myself. But for the people that can get away with it for a while, if they market themselves in such a believable way, like Vanessa did, people will buy into it at a large level for a short amount of time. But like the 80s song by Poison, every rose has its thorn. Yeah, every rose has its thorn, right? At some point, people are going to figure it out, and they're going to figure it out sooner than later. So some people will come in like she did for a short amount of time and sell a pipe dream for 2 to 3 years, go full tilt, look all cute and sexy in the videos, never mention that she had a boyfriend or whatever, right? Never mention any of that, right? With the most highly edited videos with like 500 jump cuts each video, right? And they'll get away with it for a while because other people, once they start to grow, will invite them on their shows. But then it becomes the same old redundant thing. Then you got to repeat the same old boring thing to keep the facade going. And not only does it become boring, if you keep doing the same old thing, it becomes very apparent how you're deceiving people, right? I'm going to put it in your hands, brother. One more lap or not? Put a 1 to chat. One more lap or not? I'm hoping the YouTube app gets an update and it fixes the chat issue again, because the chat was working fine. But now with the update today to iOS 17.3, oh, I don't like that dog. All right, dude. AZ Prod says 1. Oh, it looks like the black screen is coming back. Oh, okay. All right, I think it's coming back. I think it's fixing itself. YouTube will probably have an update on the YouTube app tonight or tomorrow. All right, we'll go one more lap there, brother. I need to get my exercise in. It's been hard to get it in lately due to the rain. And another thing that I've been hearing a lot about on YouTube lately, like I'm seeing a lot of videos on people quitting YouTube or people talking about should you quit YouTube and stuff. I'm seeing a lot of videos, and I really haven't paid that much attention to it, but I think it has to do with the time of year where people have made New Year's resolutions to manage their time and balance their time better, or cut out things that aren't serving them or as productive. And, it's like I'm seeing all this stuff. And, like, when I first started doing this semi full time 6 years ago, I was really fascinated by all different types of content. And I would just watch every one of these I quit videos or any one of these videos with a clickbaity, dramatic title. And then I started to realize that if you see one, you've seen them all, right? For the most part. I'm not saying that's true for everyone, but if you see one, you see them all. And, most of these people creating these videos are just trying to clickbait you into getting more views during a time of the year in January that's supposedly the slowest time of the year on YouTube, right? And I'll tell you, it saddens me because this is the type of content this platform is flooded with. It's flooded with clickbaity stuff, right? And this clickbaity stuff is being pushed further higher into the algorithm over real good content like I create and other good creators create, because it's leading people to believe like there's some type of scrutiny going on, or there's some type of controversy going on, right? It's almost like playing with people's emotions, right? And my thoughts are, I really think that YouTube, they've been doing great, and I'm really proud of how YouTube's handling their platform, okay? But I think YouTube needs to, it's not about taking action against this type of content, because there's really nothing wrong with it. It's just same old thing. It's just people trying to get attention with clickbaity stuff, right? That they know most people will tune into. I think YouTube should incentivize creators that create more heartfelt, genuine, personalized type of content. I think that's where they've gone with the podcasting. YouTube has been focusing a lot more on podcasting. And pretty much, you can consider my shows, like a podcast. I'm sure AZ Pod treats them like a podcast. He'll listen to them while he's working, etc., right? Keeps him company, right? Etc., right? And that's what I'm probably going to do is, put a lot of these, start putting these streams into podcast format. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm just really tired of seeing the same old thing being duplicated by by the majority of creators out here. You're seeing the same exact type of content. Should you quit YouTube? Should you quit YouTube? Should you quit YouTube? Is it the time to quit YouTube, right? And then you watch one of those videos, and then you get recommended 100 more that were just made in the last 2 to 3 days. And I'm like, are these creators really creative? Or are they just trying to basically use clickbait and leverage a topic that could initially be a hot topic, But after it gets played out by so many people, is it really a hot topic anymore? Is it a hot topic when these videos are created practically daily by many creators on this platform? Oh yeah, I'm thinking, and I've done it too. I'm not gonna lie, I've done it too. But it's like I don't think I'll ever make a video like that again. I think the only other video I will ever make on leaving YouTube is when if I actually do it at some point. I don't plan on doing that. I was telling Don last night. Well, actually, Don was telling me last night. First of all, you know, like, her dad is retired. Her dad's like, I think 67, 68 years old. And he's a retired tile contractor. He owned and still owns his own business. He can still work if he wants. He's just retired. But, my girlfriend Dawn was saying, my dad will probably get bored after a year or two and decide to start working on stuff again or working again or something. And I said, well, your dad has a lot more options nowadays. Like, what your dad could do is start a YouTube channel and teach people how to lay tile and probably make more money than he did. And he made good money. Don't get me wrong. Don's dad and mom, they've done well, and they're good people, right? He did really well. But he could do creating, video. He's an expert. He's a perfectionist like me on stuff, right? That's what I love about her dad. He's a perfectionist. He's got to get it done right the first time and make it last a while. I respect a man like that, right? And so I'm like, babe, your dad could start a YouTube channel. I could even edit his videos or whatever, and he could make $10,000, $20,000 a month of ad revenue with the views he gets. Yeah, but my dad's not really into that. I said, that's cool, I get it. He's not into it. She goes, well, that wasn't their era. We were the first era. Yeah, you're right, babe. The Gen Xers were at the forefront of the internet. But we also have a lot of the values of the boomers, right? Like, for me, the internet does not motivate me on what I want to do for a living. But it gives me an opportunity to share more of what I already enjoy doing by leveraging it, right? I told Don last night, I said, look, you remember I told you the story on what inspired me to want to even do this coaching thing and YouTube thing and run these shows, right? Especially the live ones, right? Because when I was younger, as a little kid, I used to buy 45s with my paper route money. And I used to pretend to be a DJ in my room. And my dream was always to be a radio DJ or a TV talk show host. I always wanted to be like a Ryan Seacrest. Like, I love Ryan Seacrest. God bless you. Because I enjoy hosting stuff like that. I enjoy making people smile and be happy. And I love talking like a broadcaster. I love that broadcasting voice, right? I enjoy that. I told Dawn, look, the internet doesn't control me. My purpose never stemmed from the internet. The internet gave me an opportunity to be able to run my own shows instead of having to go down to Hollywood or rent an expensive studio like people had to do before the internet and sites like YouTube came out where you can do it yourself. Back in those days, to rent a studio out for a day, it would be like 10 grand. So what have I done now? I've probably, how do I say this the right way, or as accurately as possible, between my laptop, my camera, my nice camera, and other equipment I've purchased and hard drives, I've probably spent anywhere from 8 to 10 grand over the last 6 years to build my studio for YouTube. Shure SM7B mic, SM58 for Dawn, yada yada. I may have spent that money one time. Let's say I spent 10 grand in the last 5-6 years. It would cost somebody back in those days at least 10 grand per day to rent a studio out to borrow to do one show, right? I spent 10 grand over the last 6 years. I built out my own studio, and I can create shows for the next 20, 30 years. I may have to replace a laptop every now and then. But the way my studio is right now with my laptop and all that, I will get at least 2 to 3 or 4 years more usage before I have to repair or replace anything. And I could broadcast every day in high quality. Got a fiber line, got a fast laptop, got a green screen, right? So give me a second because somebody was coming. I had to step over this way. So I was trying to tell Dawn, I said, look, nowadays, usually what happens when people retired before the internet, they would go and volunteer their time, or they would do like private tutoring or stuff like that, right? They would do stuff like that. Now, you can do that on YouTube and the internet. And you could do it 1 to 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, take weekends off. Or you could do it, you can put out 1 to 2 videos a month. Like if Don's dad put out 1 to 2 tile videos per month, had an editor, I would do it for him. I would do it for him for free, right? I could tell you, because it's a how-to channel and everyone would search for that, he would surpass me instantly. So, that's that. Now, a lot of people may be asking, Eli, if you're so sure you could help him get all those views, then why wouldn't you do a how-to channel? That's a great question. And let me answer a question that people would probably want to ask before you ask it, because I want to be transparent. Okay? I love technology. I love laptops. I love repairing my own laptops. I love upgrading my own machines. I love the equipment, and I'm good at that. And I enjoy doing my own repairs, but it's not my purpose or my passion. I'm not passionate about creating how-to videos. If I was, I would have already done them. Now, don't get me wrong. How-to videos are important. And I could probably do them very, very well. But I'm just not passionate about making those videos. Or at least nowhere nearly as passionate as I am about helping people better their lives personally and professionally in general. I could create videos like some creators do on iOS and Android and, create videos on what I think the next best thing is coming about these phones, right? And probably make a lot of money and get a lot more views. I know that. I'm just not passionate about it. I don't have the passion for that I do for coaching people in a general way, personally and professionally. This is why I keep doing this. This is why, come rain, come shine, unless it's really super pouring like it has been. Like if it's light rain, I'll come out and walk. But I'll tell you what we got here, and I showed you the water that was running earlier in the show. What we got here over the last day or two, or 2.5 days, yeah, that just wasn't, no one was out walking. I'll tell you, look at the sky tonight. Tell me, is that clear or what? Now, that's not the moon. That's that's one of those LED lights. But look at the sky. Let me turn this way to where you can see it better, right? It cleared up. There were some clouds earlier. Like, that is beautiful. Folks, we're on the final half lap here. We're on lap 3. We're about halfway done on lap 3. Please start getting your final questions, comments, concerns. So like I was saying earlier, I may end up doing a few live streams on the main channel. Coach Eli, Elias Melas. Now, if I do those there, I'm not gonna make people buy a secondary membership on that channel for this, for the fact that I'm not going to be doing live streams there regularly, but I got to start getting some more content on there, and I think that's the easiest way to do it. I wanted to do it pre-recorded, but I think doing it live might be easier based on what I've got going right now. Because here's the thing, folks, like when you have obligations with your family and friends, and I want to make sure that while Dawn is suffering from this constipation that I always suffer from, until she gets fully better on that, I want to make sure that I can be there for her as much as possible. If I do pre-recorded videos, I have to do some editing and I have to upload it. If I do something live, I prepare the show. Once the live is done, the replay is automatically available, right? You see, I mean, it just makes it easier. And to be fair, a lot of my pre-recorded content is pre-recorded in the same way it would have gone out as if I did the show live. I use OBS for both my pre-recorded videos from the studio and the live streams. So, it's the same thing. What I really wanted to do also is some more short form content, like do some 15 20-minute video topics, kind of like maybe start doing like the best Reddit dating story of the day or something like that, and then do it pre-recorded on the main channel. But I gotta get into my rhythm of doing that. When I first came out on YouTube over 6 years ago on the channel that no longer exists, the one I was running with my ex years ago, I used to put out a pre-recorded video 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. So I was basically working Sundays through Thursdays, because I would prepare the video to publish it the next day. And what I was doing is I was recording the videos basically the night before I would publish them. Now, it's ideal to do that if you want to have the most current stuff. But then you have to also look at, okay, depending on the content, what if I took half a day, took 5-6 hours on Mondays, and recorded 5 20 to 30 minute videos, right? And then what if I were to take the next day for 5 or 6 hours, edit them, upload them, and schedule them to be published one day at a time. And then I get, 5 days off in a row, right? or I do a quick live stream and I'm done, right? That's a possibility. That's something you can do. But it all depends on the type of content you want to create. If you want to do something that's more current, I think what makes me happiest the most is bringing you folks current stuff. I like doing things in real time, whether it's pre-recorded or live. I like doing things in real time. I like providing people with the latest information on things, right? Now, most of the content I share may be the latest information at that point, but it's also information that can be valuable down the road, like evergreen content. Maybe there's a small update or something, right? But the basis of the principle I'd be talking about, you know, would have the same meaning 5-10 years from now. Evergreen content. So there's been a lot of things that I've been toggling in my head and trying to balance out. And I know exactly what I want to do and where I want to take these channels and all that. But at the same time, you know, I got to be there for my family and take care of my family. You know, when it comes to medical things, when it comes to health, I will always choose my family. That includes Dawn and her family too, over YouTube or creating content. Now, when it comes to non-emergencies, that's a different story. I consider any health issue to be at least a semi-emergency, even though if it's really not considered one. You know, having constipation is not necessarily an immediate emergency, but it can become one if you don't act upon it and do what needs to be done to relieve your constipation. And if you can't relieve it within a day or two, then, or even less, depending on how you feel, you got to go to the ER. And you may have to have what's called a manual evacuation. I've never had that happen. But I know of others who've had that happen, right? So, you know, for my family, and even Dawn and everyone that I care for, when it comes to health, I will drop everything. When it comes to non-emergencies, that's a different story. At that point, you got to prioritize your business and your personal life and manage your time to be able to handle both, because you can't have one without the other. You can't have a successful relationship without money. I hate to say it. And you can't make any money unless you work and you balance that into your relationship, right? So you gotta learn to balance that out. You gotta figure out what works for you and your partner. You gotta talk things out. Don't argue. Talk things out. And if you try to talk things out, guys, with your ladies, and they start to give you some shit or some blowback, say, hey, baby, I'm not here to argue you. I love you. You're my teammate. Like, I'm no better than you. You're no better than me. Like, I'm not here to compete with you, babe. Yeah, but you're not listening. Well, babe, I am listening. I'm saying, you're my best friend. You're my lover. You're my teammate. You're my equal. I'm not here to compete with you. You know? And she's probably going to say, you know, do you think I'm trying to compete with you? Well, that's what it kind of seems like. Because if you didn't feel that it was a competition, you wouldn't be challenging me. And I'm here to say, babe, I want to figure everything out with you. You're the love of my life, my best friend. You know, we're the team. We're the team of the century, right? We can figure anything out together, right? Sometimes you got to talk to women like they're a little girl because sometimes their emotions make them act that way. No disrespect. You just got to make women understand and feel good and say, hey, baby, look, why would I want to compete with my own woman? Why the hell am I with you if I'm trying to compete with you and beat you at something? Like, you're my partner. You're not my opponent. You're my teammate. Oh, God, man. But that's the way that God made women, you know. Like Dimitri Melas would say, my father, God rest his soul, it's funny what a man will do for a piece of you know what. Still got to make those shirts. I'm sure I could make those shirts, but I don't know if YouTube would think it's compliant with their guidelines to post them on my merch wall once I activate those on both of the monetized channels. All right, folks, get your final questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We're going off the air in just about 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 5 at the most. Oh, there it is, the 49er Christmas tree now. The digital Christmas tree, which now has been turned from a Christmas tree to a 49er tree. This is cool stuff, man. This is cool stuff. The longer the Niners are in, hey, you know what? The Niners go to the Super Bowl. I love this, man. The 49er Christmas tree over there. All right, folks. I'm going to get going home. Actually, I got to run a few errands. Dawn and I, you know, because she's able to eat mashed potatoes very easily. And she likes she makes the mashed potatoes pretty good, too. But I make good mashed potatoes. Make them very creamy garlic mashed potatoes with Yukon Gold potatoes. Folks, listen, the Yukon Gold potatoes, they are the top of the line, most expensive potatoes, but they're not really that much more than a regular potato. So get the Yukon Gold potatoes when you're going to make mashed potatoes, right? And I finally ended up, and I said, you know what, babe, if you can eat mashed potatoes, they're full of carbs, you'll gain weight, and it's something you can eat easily. I'm going to feed you mashed potatoes 3 times a week. Like, I'm just trying to find anything that she can put down now until we figure out what's going on with her medication and stuff. So I ended up buying this potato peeler, automatic potato peeler. It also peels apples and oranges and stuff like that, right? And these peelers, they work great. The thing is, they cannot peel the top and the bottom, but they do a great job of peeling the majority of it, right? Then you just have to skin off the top of the potato and the bottom, right? So then I went and I looked, and I bought this. You got to have a hand peeler, but you got to get a good quality one. I found this $15 potato peeler made by Oxo. I showed it to Dawn. She's like, "Oh, that's Oxo. That's top notch, good stuff there." You know, so could probably peel a potato now in less than a minute. Before, it would literally take, with a cheaper, older handheld potato peeler that I have, it would take like 5 minutes per potato, and it would be exhausting. It would literally take me, I would need 5-6 potatoes to make enough mashed potato for the both of us. It would take me like a half an hour just to peel the potatoes, right? And then the cleanup is horrible because you're just skinning the thing everywhere, right? When you use the automatic peeler, it peels it in one consecutive strip, so it's easy to clean, right? And then I got a nice new hand mixer, and what else? I forgot what else. And then I got a masher as well too. You know, after you boil the potatoes, you put a little salt in there and a little minced garlic, Christopher Ranch, right? And then after you boil them, you put them into the bowl, and then you use the masher to mash it up, and then you add a little bit of milk and a little more minced garlic and maybe a little more salt, and then you use the electric hand mixer like you're mixing a cake, right? And you basically like creamify those potatoes, and it's oh man. So, and it's much cheaper when you do it at home. You know, when you order that stuff, at a nice restaurant, I mean, it comes usually when you get like steak or chicken or some fish, like salmon and stuff, right? And it's pretty expensive. But you make it at home, you could have it in large quantities. And here's the thing: if you make the potato, get some Ziploc bags from Costco, get them in bulk, freezer bags, and you can make a whole bunch, put it in a Ziploc freezer bag, and put it in your fridge. It'll last for at least a week or a week and a half, right? Because it's mashed potato. It'll last as long as you put it in the Ziploc bag and keep it in the fridge, and you can heat it up every day and have a little bit and feel satisfied, right? Just some tips there. But anyway, we're going to leave 13 in the box, 2 thumbs up. Thank you to everyone for being here. Have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other.